Jacques Kallis together with Gary Kirsten, and they put on a record partnership with South Africa, 237 for 1 by the close.
It all started so well. Darren Goff's return and first Test wicket in 12 months put England on a high just 10 overs in. Gahadis Liebenberg out with South Africa on just 25. There was a lot of optimism about this England side. Dominic Cork and Angus Fraser were also in the attack with Goff, only the third time all three have been on display together. Despite that, the wicket didn't give them much help. Jacques Kallis and Gary Kirsten batted through lunch, and tea as both cruised to their half-centuries. The track started to turn in the last session, but the match was still turning further towards South Africa. Croft unlucky there. And though England weren't giving up the chase, it was just turning into one of those afternoons. Mark Ramprakash did his best in the field, and he was given a bowl as well, but with the same result. And at this rate, the third test, like the second, could be heading for an early result. Ollie Foster, Sky News.
South Africa, wickets have been tumbling at Old Trafford. I'll give you the score now. It's close of play on day 3, 162 for 8. Now England, they need 353 just to avoid the follow-on. So looks like they're not even going to make that, because South Africa declared earlier today at 552 for 5 after making England suffer for another hour this morning.
The England bowlers knew they'd have a limited spell at the South Africans this morning. And Darren Goff certainly didn't hang around, claiming the wicket of Jonty Rhodes in his first over, a simple catch for Dominic Cork. The batsmen weren't wasting any time either. Hansie Cronje leading the way with that massive 6 off Croft. And minutes later, the South African captain was celebrating his half-century. It came in just 79 balls. England's misery in the field was brought to an end when Cronje declared on 552 for 5. But with Graham Thorpe sidelined by yet another back spasm, Alex Stewart must have been worried about avoiding the follow-on. Mike Atherton certainly made a positive start. But ominously for England, Alan Donald was suddenly getting life out of what had been a completely dormant track. And this shortest delivery was just too good for Nick Knight. When Nasser Hussain went for 4 just after lunch to another snorter from Donald, all that talk about a placid pitch seemed a little redundant. Sean Pollock's deputy Makana Ntindi justified his selection, tempting Mike Atherton outside off stump. Atherton gone for 41. It was Boucher's third catch of the innings. England made the 100 just before tea. They lost their captain soon after. Alex Stewart misjudging a straight one from Kallis. He'd made 40. Dominic Cork was next to go. Cork pushing forward to Adams. Hansie Cronje gratefully accepted the catch. Robert Croft was Ntini's second victim of the day. The England spinner beaten by an almost perfect ball. It was hardly worth the wait for Graham Thorpe. He faced just 6 balls before being caught LBW by Adams for a duck. Just as England needed some stability before the close, Mark Ramprakash slashed at one outside leg stump, and England's last recognised batsman had gone for 30. England in desperate trouble, 162 for 8 at the close, still at 191 short of avoiding the follow-on. Andy Houlihan, Sky News.
Pulled off a remarkable escape in the Old Trafford Test against South Africa today. Facing almost certain defeat, Stewart and Atherton began the England fight back. But when they fell, it was left to Robert Croft to defy the South Africans for 3 solid hours to help secure a draw. England are now 1 down with 2 to play. Here's ITN's Will Walden.
For England on the final morning, a familiar story. 158 runs still needed just to make South Africa bat again. Clearly, few thought it even remotely possible. The best England could hope for was a draw, and for that they needed Mike Atherton. But Ntini's brilliant running catch before lunch all but extinguished England's hopes. Alex Stewart's mammoth innings proved the only highlight, but on 164 he played the type of shot as England captain that he'll want to forget. From then on, a steady procession of wickets. Stewart could only pray as his first series in charge began to slip away. 2 wickets were needed. Enter Robert Croft, who with Darren Gough and then last man Angus Fraser steered England minute by minute towards the most improbable escape. Drama to the end, the visitors unable to take the final wicket, and after 3 hours of resistance, Croft and England were safe. Will Walden, News at 9.